probably time to go. This is Nerd's show, yeah, this is Nerd's show. And if you ain't one of them, it's probably time to go.
Probably time to go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm, of course, Hickory the Drunk and Underwhelming. Welcome back. It is, of course, the Drunk and Underwhelming live. Sorry, it started playing on Rumble. I got confused. TDAU Live, Episode 8. Stolen Driveways, Secret Tunnels, and is King Arthur Flower the next Citizen Cider? That's right. We got lots of serious things to get into tonight, like the King Arthur Flower debacle, amongst a bunch of other breaking news. But we might check in on the Vivek town hall briefly later on in the program. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might just dick off for an hour. Who knows? That's what the Drunk and Underwhelming does best. But I am very happy to announce that Sean said Sweden and Poland I'm assuming he meant Poland, preparing for invasion. Germany striking, shutting down the country. Ecuador under martial law. I just want to talk about Cat Williams. Yes, Cat Williams went viral for many a comment he made, and to be honest, I haven't gotten through the podcast yet, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit going on, and a lot of crazy other shit, and we got some funny shit to talk about. I got some local news pulled up, because there's a couple local news stories going on that I need to discuss, because I'm just in disbelief that this shit's real. And yeah. I should probably just watch the Cat Williams thing. That's I probably should have done that, but unfortunately I'm very busy. But it's good. It's self-imposed busy. As in there's artwork for tentative artwork for the new singles coming up, and let me pull that up because I meant to earlier, but I'm bad, and I just pulled up the stories because I'm a bad man. But yeah, the raccoon artwork is coming along. That'll be the first single released at the end of the month for both MC Molasses and Uncle Dad the Family Secret will be releasing a single, which is pretty exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty stoked about the home release. So this was the first draft of the MC Molasses cover, which has subsequently changed. It looks more like this, and there will be a third draft because it's coming along swiftly. God, I like that one. The orange eyes really make me tickle. And then it's the Uncle Dad variant raccoon. Yes, very exciting. Let's just say Alex Jones and the Gay Frogs was slightly off. Okay, fair enough. Are you saying that Cat Williams was right? Are they lesbian frogs? I don't know. We'll get into it. Anyways, welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me on TDAU Live. Let's get into this.
Yeah! Back, baby!
Are you saying you want to show me your tits?
This is the story of a drunk who grew up kind of a punk, and then all his friends left him, and now he's here alone. This is the story of a drunk who grew up kind of punk, now he's here doing the Drunk and Underwhelming Live show.
This is a weird show.
Drunk and Underwhelming Live show. Drunk and Underwhelming Live show. Drunk and Underwhelming Live show.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's TDAU Live, Episode 8. Stolen Driveways, Secret Tunnels. And it's King Arthur Flower, the next Citizen Cider. That's right. The next company in Vermont to just completely ruin a bunch of shit on some garbage marketing. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into them. We'll break these few down and then get into some more ridiculous stuff as we go along. Sean's like, Cat opened up Pandora's box. I'm excited to see what he has to say. I'm not going to lie. Where are we starting? Stolen Driveways. Good Lord. That's a How the Drunk Is This news story if I ever heard one. Let me double check to make sure. Yeah, here we go. Of all the crazy shit that I thought would put on the 2024 bingo card, a stolen driveway was not one of them, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Florida mom baffled by bizarre theft. I come home and my driveway's gone. Poor lady. A single mom who was trying to sell her Florida home is scratching her head over bizarre theft after someone stole her concrete driveway right out of the ground. I come home and my driveway's gone. Amanda Bronchu told WFTV, and the moment she realized someone had ripped up the concrete driveway of her Orange County home last month, leaving a patch of muddy dirt in its place. The mystery started soon after she listed the home for sale, the baffled mom said. Soon, strange contractors started showing up to measure the driveway. Bronchu told the outlet, with their son counting 5 such workers in total. When she asked the crew what they were up to, they told her a Tampa area man identified only as Andre hired them to price a replacement. The team even provided her text messages purportedly showing Andre asking for the estimate, provided them with Brody's address, WFTV noted. A suspicious client, however, was out of town and the contractor requested an in-person meeting, cut off communication when asked for proof of ownership, the outlet said. 1 week later, Brochu's doorbell camera captured a bulldozer ripping up the concrete driveway and hauling it away. Yeah, apparently this is a thing that's actually a scam that's going on. They found high chairs. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no, that's all sorts of creepy. We'll get into that shortly. And who knows? I mean, I have a good inkling as to what was up, but I feel like there was other things going on as well. But that being said, I don't know. I'm just a drunk magician. Anything I should say should be just I'm constant. I'm not responsible for anything. The opinions of the drunken underwhelming. Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming is not responsible for any of the opinions that Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming may put forth during the show. It's awesome. Looks like you need a new driveway, sir. Lucky. I build driveways. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the scam works. Hopefully they break it down a little more. But I definitely know this is like a weird scam where people steal driveways. Like there's a thing where they steal driveways from places that have listed for sale recently. Like this poor lady's a place she was renting. I think the owner has listed it for sale, and so she'll have to move out soon, which is unfortunate for her if she liked her living arrangement. But also, it's one of those like, what do you tell your landlord? Like, yeah, somebody just came by and took the drive. Luckily, she has Ring camera footage to prove that some people just came by with a bulldozer. Said, I've never seen this before. I've never had this happen to myself or anyone in our office, Sanchez said. Sanchez posted about the missing driveway in a Facebook group for realtors and believes Brochu is the victim of a strange scam. I had multiple people come forward saying they've never seen like things like this happen, whether it be driveways, roofs, painting, even outside the exterior, so it happens more often than we actually see it. Sorry. I had multiple people come forward saying that they've seen like things like this happen. Wild. Now Brochu is under pressure to replace the driveway in order to sell the home within 2 weeks, or else she'll lose the property she is under contract to buy nearby. She recently so she's selling it. That's even worse, dude. She recently replaced the roof and made another investment, leaving her worried about getting the $10,000 for the project. No one's going to buy this. This brings the property now, and that it just messes it up for me and my family, Brochu lamented. The Orange County Sheriff's Office, which is investigating the driveway theft, did not immediately return. But yeah, just brought a bulldozer in there and stole the. That's how bad. It's how bad the economy is doing. Is people are stealing full on driveways nowadays. Like just absolutely mind boggling. What the hell are we going through? Yeah, we're gonna move right into the second topic, which was. Where did I find it? Was it the? No, that was the Vermont one. Oh man, it's rough these days. There's so many. Okay, so this one was actually from a Forward Jewish independent nonprofit news. Let's see what they got to say. I'm this was kind of my take when I saw it. It was not just the Shabbat headquarters, the secret Jewish history of secret Jewish tunnels. Jewish groups through history have used tunnels for warfare, reduce resource transportation, and more. But yeah, for those who were unaware, the crazy news this past week was that there was a tunnel discovered under a. Let me pull this up so I have some video footage to share. Oh, yeah, I could do it with I don't need to share the audio. This was, yeah, and I'm going to share this. This was, John said, do you believe any of the contractors were caraway that new driveway had to be put in? Lucky for them, not the homeowners. It just seems crazy that somebody would want to use driveway. Like, it's that bad. And like, another reason not to get concrete, I guess, right, is to like get a hard packed driveway. Like, it's a lot harder to steal a hard packed driveway. I don't know. I guess it could be done, but then again, like if you remove a hard packed driveway, you just have a dirt driveway. But yeah, craziness. Yeah, this was Night of the Broken Ass. Yeah, this was Decoy Voices, quick coverage. Yeah, just weirdness of a dude coming like he's David Copperfield escaping escaping the island, and poof, gone. Yeah, there's the high chair that we were talking about earlier. Creepy. That was in the basement, the dirty basement, which I assume most of this dirt was from when they removed the dirt from the tunnel. I don't know, dude. This whole thing's so... I mean, it's a secret tunnel, but it's not so secret anymore, I suppose. Which is like a very, very common thing. Which is what the article I pulled out. Oh. Said actually that driveway would probably be a $5,000 to $10,000 driveway for that size. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of concrete. A lot of concrete right there. Like, not a small amount of concrete to build a concrete block driveway that is strong enough to be removed with a bulldozer. Yeah, that's not a cheap build. Like, I mean, my foundation was $15K. So like that's 70 feet long or 76 feet long by 15 feet wide. So, or maybe a little more than that. So say it's 78 by 16. It was like 15 grand to put that thing on. So yeah, I imagine, I mean, that driveway has to be at least 2/3 of that. Anyways, redacted had information about child trafficking. Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, not crazy, just that there was crazy tunnels. Part of the craziness is the response that came forth was the ongoing riots. Yep, a secret room hidden behind some paneling. He said is all the labor, the forms, etc. Oh, okay. We'll have to check that out in a second. Yeah, and they're here protesting, hanging out in the tunnel. Yeah, it's just NYPD being like, "Hey, we want to get people out of here." And all of a sudden they're pulling people out of the tunnel. So I don't know, like all the events, it's a little bit jumpy, but it's just yeah. And here we go. These guys are getting riled up and literally willing to go to jail for whatever is being about to be filled in with concrete. Yep, just tearing up, moving whatever those things are. I would assume they're called pews. I don't know. That's what they call them at church. Sean said, sorry, what I was saying was the tunnels were being used to traffic squids and the driveway issue. The most amount of money in labor and construction trying to tell two stories at once. My bad. No, it's fair. Yeah. I mean, that's very much a possibility. We're going to have to... John was redacted on Twitter or on YouTube. Fill me in on that so I can check that out. But yeah, just getting all sorts of rowdy here. Like these people are willing to go to jail to defend whatever. It's a small scale riot. It's not things you typically see out of this community. Oh yeah, he's pepper spraying him now because why not? I do like that guy's hat. That's a. I want to take time to make the point that I like this guy's hat a whole lot. It looks good in it, bro. Do you have to wear the hat like over? Yeah, I would assume so. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask friends. Yeah, so they had a official response that the Chabad Lubavitch community is pained by the vandalism of a group of young agitators who damaged the synagogue below by Chabad headquarters, 770 East Parkway, Monday night. These odious actions will be investigated and the sanctity of the synagogue will be restored. Our thanks to the NYPD for their professionalism and sensitivity. We are grateful for the outpouring of concern for the support of the Chabad Lubavitch institutions around the world. Rabbi Yehuda Krinsky, chairman. Yeah. No, and I'm not denying that. So the amount of background that I did on this story was, and I have not looked in a whole lot. I've just thought that was crazy. Totally reminded me of Schindler's List when the kid climbed out of the sewers. A little bit, right? And like part of me was wondering if like, I'm not saying the whole thing is like, I think it's a real story. And I don't think it's all completely sensationalized, but Sean, when the way you said that, like, totally made me think, like, were parts of it created to push a narrative? Because I'm really at a point, like, and I hate to fucking say it, that, like, I'm not entirely sure that not all of this was staged. And I can say that basically about any news story that comes across now. And I mean, it looked like him popping out of that sewer grate, man. Like the fact, like his hat barely fit. You know what I mean? Like it's just it barely like it barely like it's one of those like I don't know, man. The amount of background research that I did do on this one was I did ask a friend who's a member of the Jewish community locally. I did ask her opinion, and she was instantly just like, "Oh, that's a Frank tunnel," and I was just like, "Okay, nope, that would make sense. That would make sense to me." And I'm not entirely sure that answers all the questions or that like that's completely the answer. But undeniably, that would be an explanation that would make sense to me. Frank Tunnel being a tunnel that would be for them, like Anne Frank, to go hide or escape. They said Sean said, "Was the tunnel dug for defensive or offensive?" Oh, I would not doubt that it's fake, and I definitely would not doubt that it's not that it's real. I know that's one of the hard ones. Is like, I don't know. Is this a giant psyop? Especially with all the stuff popping off with Jewish and Palestinian conflicts and all the bullshit going on there. That, to be frank, the show doesn't give a shit about because, that's not my fight, bro. But I will say, yeah, I don't know if it was for offensive or defensive, but her first take was like, oh, that's a Frank tunnel. It's a way to hide or escape or evade, which would kind of make sense with the current sentiment going on. That's very anti-Semitic, and I mean, if you were to take the most like devout, I mean, I'm pretty sure this group, the Chabad, are like Hasidic, like the purest. Like I don't know how it works, but like the most devout. Like it would make sense that these people might think that if there was a bunch of people chanting things like from the air to the sea, that they might be one of the first targets in a place like New York. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy, but it seems like they might build a way to escape. But on the same side, when you have a mattress that's clearly stained coming out of there, I don't know. Then again, I've stained a mattress before. You know, I'm not one to judge. This is not me. I can't look down from a moral high point here by any means. But it is a very strange story with not many answers. And I'm gonna look and see real quick. See if Sean redacted. Oh, okay. I'm assuming this one 23 hours ago. What I've heard, this is a very small sect. They believe that their Jehovah died in 93. Yeah, I have heard that. I've also heard that they are a group that has like international members. So they're not that small. Don't get me wrong. Small sect, but yeah. Oh, that's funny. He opened that with the joke I made, which is really, really funny because I haven't actually watched this. This was Sean was mentioning on Redacted. And no, we're gonna watch the whole thing, but we'll watch like a couple clips here and there because why not?
Well, if you had on your 2024 bingo card hidden Jewish tunnels under New York City, then you are winning at life because you just nailed it. This is really, I have to think, the most bizarre story I've heard.
Exactly. So, Sam Take, I'm sure these guys did a whole lot more deep dive because this Redacted, they got 2.25 million subscribers, and this video got 331,000 views. That is what they do when they have a team. I'm sure they did a lot more digging than the Drunken Underwhelming did while he was working 50 hours this week. But I've heard this is a very small sect. Yep, sorry, no, I read that one. So no, it would be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. They arrested 10. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Unfortunately, I could go through the whole thing. Let me. I do want to check in. God, that live chat's going fast. I just want to check in and see what was going over there at the town hall with Vivek Ramaswamy because nobody was hosting this other than Timcast willing to.
I think there's two different points of both that are interesting, but I think it's important not to mix them up because it might risk us missing the real plot here, which is one is have we applied the different standard of rule of law throughout this country over the course of 2020?
Oh man, I was kind of hoping like they were gonna do like an actual like town hall with him and like have a crowd, but it looks like it's more like just like a
Absolutely, we did. Antifa,
podcast
BLM, you
type
name it. If you have a left-wing ideology, it was mostly peaceful protest. You ignore it. That's a glaring point and deserves to be called out. And I think that there can be no justice with two standards of the rule
Yeah,
of law
looks like
based on
it's,
your political ideology.
I was gonna click through a little bit. So this looks
Police
like
officers were assaulted while trying to stop the mob from breaching the Capitol.
okay, maybe they are in front of a live crowd. Just audio was pretty
Aced
good there.
Records. They produce awesome music. We have so many people on the show, and we'll be and a CNN town.
Right? Is this a simulation? Are we in some sort?
And was intending to make the show as crazy as possible. And
Or do they
where
just
they will-
not have a crowd mic? Because it definitely
inside
sounds
job.
like
The
they're in a
Capitol Police-
theater.
not act-
I don't know.
Their audience, get Christopher Ray out, you get James Comey 2.0.
Oh. Anyways, I'm sure some good stuff's gonna happen over there. We'll check back in on that later. Redacted is evidently done in their house. They have 2 remote producers / engineers. Pretty much everything done remotely. Clay just went to Germany. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm jealous. No, I wish I could be part of something like that where we had a team instead of just me just collecting articles and shit I want to talk about throughout the week. Because, you know, Yeah, it's pretty much me. I produce, edit, record. I'm responsible for everything on this show. So no, don't get me wrong. It's not the best show, but it's a show. Yeah, Tim Cash is doing alternative to the debates. Yeah, which is good because Vivek Ramaswamy deserves it, dude. And like, to be honest, who gives a shit about what Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis have to say? Because neither of them are going to win. I'd much more interested in hear what Vivek has to say. But no, I think Trump's doing a thing too. Who's obviously going to win because, like, I mean, it's pretty evident at this point. Unless some serious things go wrong or some shenanigans are afoot. Speaking of shenanigans, let's get into a lighthearted story to break the tension for a second. Person attacked with a watermelon at New Hampshire market basket, police say. Because, you know, why not? New Hampshire man was at it again. Person was hospitalized with a non-life-threatening injury after being struck with a watermelon at a market basket in Tilton, New Hampshire. I told you we're going to get into some local-ish news. Person was injured after being attacked with a watermelon Thursday evening at a New Hampshire supermarket, according to the police. Police in Tilton responded to the market basket on Market Street shortly after 6 p.m. Details were limited. Police said a person was taken to the hospital with a non-life-threatening injury after being struck with a melon. No arrests were made, police said, but the incident remains under investigation. Because, I mean, you could have a bad day, but at least you were not assaulted with a watermelon. This was at How the Drunk Is Not Bigger News. And given it's Fox, but they didn't find this. Watchdog finds 81% of all political late night shows in 2023 targeted conservatives. Shocker, you know, like it's oh my God, we're all so surprised that 81% of the jokes made on late night shows targeted conservatives, clearly meaning the other 19% targeted libertarians. No, that would have been a better joke. I should have gone when the other 19% targeted America First candidates. Because let's be honest, they're not really targeting anybody that's not on the right side of things. A new study from the Media Research Center found that 81% of all political jokes told on major late night comedy shows in 2023 targeted conservatives. The Media Watchdog analyzed each of the 9,518 political jokes told between 6 major daily late night shows from January 3rd to December 22nd, 2023, and found that 7,729 of them took aim at someone or something on the right side of the political spectrum. And what I really want to know is how many of those jokes were fucking funny. Because I assure you, it's not many of them. Like, most of these jokes were not good. And that is, I mean, that's the real, like, how many were funny? How many of these jokes would have gotten a laugh without a fucking laugh and applause sign above the stage lighting up and blinking and shit? That's what I want to know. Because late night died, right? Like when Jay Leno and David Letterman retired, like that's why Greg Gutfeld, as much as I hate to say that, and I have a soft spot in my heart for Greg because he's had Odorous on so many times and he's had Blother on, I'm sure at least once or twice. I know I've seen at least one. I will put money on I've seen at least one Blother and Greg Gutfeld interview. And there's at least like, I want to say there's probably 10 or 12 ones with Odorous on. But the fact that a conservative news guy, Greg Gutfeld, is doing conservative comedy and crushing the late night ratings is like just man, these guys are garbage. And it's clear. It's clear because there's a bunch of people doing better shows from their fucking house than these 3 clowns. And it's clear. Like Stephen Colbert stopped being funny when he stopped pretending to be a fake conservative and became a real liberal. He's not a liberal. Excuse me. When he became a leftist corporatist like he is now. Jimmy Fallon's only been funny for people who are kind of weird. And Jimmy Kimmel is a blackface enthusiast. Not to forget, this man painted his face black to represent Karl Malone, and nobody cares anymore because apparently standards only apply to certain people. Sean said, Hickory, are you witnessing any relations by your fellow Vermont citizens? The one who may have surprised you. Everyone is so reluctant to admit they were wrong. To be honest, it's sad, but no, not a whole lot of them. I have seen a few. And when we get into King Arthur Flower, that was like a real truth-telling kind of thing for me, because there's a great sect of people that live around me that think that, let me pull down the let's get those ugly mugs off the screen so you can just look at this beautiful face. But it was telling on when I talked about people about the King Arthur story as to how they landed, because it's like a very interesting topic when you get down to a bunch of people who claim that they are not racist, and then they endorse things that are explicitly racist. It's interesting to see where people fall, because some people will be like, oh no, whatever, it's racist against white people, I don't give a shit. And other people will be like, oh, that's concerning. And it's very interesting that the person that I most was surprised by was actually someone I talked to about the tunnels, and was very like, had that, and I think I might have helped it click in the back of their mind when I was like, yeah, there's no white people, it's only POCs that are allowed at this event. And they were like, Vivek's been hammering the mainstream. Have you seen those clips? Yeah, he's absolutely amazing. He's a great speaker. I'm full on the Vivek train. I'm not gonna lie. This guy's great, and he puts people in their place, and it's hysterical. And he won't fall for fucking, will you condemn white supremacy? Which is just like one of those bullshit things they do to be like, oh my God, even though, because I've seen people do that, like Trump would denounce white supremacy. That's debate, even though he's done it. And like, you know, in the back of your mind, you're like, even though he's done it like 17 times now, and he gets asked every time he's out, and he's sick of the question, so he just moved on, and you're upset. He's denounced it 17 times, give it up. And they still want to hammer that shit. And Vivek's the first one to be like, no, dude, I'm not going to play. I'm not in your new religion. I don't give a shit. I'm not bending the knee and saying some garbage talking points that you want to hear. Or when they ask him about how Trump says something and he's like, I'm not going to have a discussion about the fucking context of something somebody else said without the context of what they said. You want to talk about serious issues, we got to talk about serious issues, but I'm not going to waste my time on it. And I love that. I love the fact that he's smarter than most of these people, and it's very, very clear. I think he should offer Trump. Vice presidency. Trump will remain in office for 12 years potentially. Yeah, that would be a great trade. But I don't know if I would like to see maybe. I don't know if Vivek as vice would work with Trump. Like who knows, dude? It can't be worse than Pence. But on the flip side, like. And if it's Nikki, like I've thought about that. Like if Trump chose Nikki Haley, I wouldn't. Oh yeah, breaking news: Chris Christie dropped out today, to no one's surprise, because who cares? That fat fucking go back to Jersey and eat some donuts. Shut down some more bridges, you land well. Sorry, I'm drunk and rambling. This is awesome. This is why I love this show. Thank you guys for joining me. But like if he chose Nikki, it would be like the breaking point for me, where I'd be like, you know what, I'm writing myself again. I'll write myself again, like I do for a bunch of office positions, because like I don't like any of these people, and I want to vote for a few people, but like when it comes down to other people, oh fuck you, I don't like this guy. I'm writing in my own name. But yeah, it was funny that going back that, yeah, they 81% of the jokes made on late night were targeted towards conservatives. Shocking. Oh my God. Yeah. Let's see. Echo or Simcast. I want to pull that up. Let's go live.
Democratic side.
Oh, he's talking about Nikki, I
And
think.
with respect to the national security state, I don't think Joe Biden could have come up with the idea if he tried to tie every social media account and internet account with the government issued ID. So I don't think it goes there, Tim. I think where it goes is they want this late in the primary, and then they get the air cover because the Democratic Party's brand isn't doing too hot. The permanent state is fundamentally nonpartisan at its core. So they get the air cover of saying, oh, yeah, we weren't even.
Oh, so it's sponsored by Based Records. That's sweet. So 5 Times August label is sponsoring this, which is cool. It's cool to see some people on the independents work
His prediction
together.
is that Joe Biden drops out just after Super Tuesday due to a health issue. I view that as a very, very good strategy for Democrats. I had been saying for some time that I believe Joe Biden will drop out. His health is just not there. His polling is not there. It is political suicide. However, many people pointed out
Full screen
in
now,
our
so you don't have
chats
to
and
see
in our
chats
audience
and
that
shit.
it's too late to have a primary. There's nothing they can do. Actually, that sounds like the best play. Joe Biden says, I'm running. No primary to be had. Don't worry about it. Come March, he says, oh no, my ailing heart. This gives the DNC the ability to just appoint who is going to be their nominee. However,
Tim, get to the
I think you
question.
actually
Let's
make
go.
a much better point. Why even worry
John said
about
first 2
going
years, the
into a political
Ramaswamy,
conflict with
2
Donald
years,
Trump
Donald
and
switched
the
up every
populist
year after that.
Republican
They both
base?
remained
Yes.
highest
When you
office for
can
12 years.
win from within with
Exactly.
Nikki Haley.
And that's exactly what's going on. And also, they
I
have
think they
this
would work well
ailing
together.
Kamala
Like,
Harris
I bet
problem
it would
because
feel just
if
like
anything
a
other than
12-year
Kamala
term.
Harris is the nominee, then they got the racist, misogynist thing going on, which undermines their own self-stated narrative. And I think
I
it's the
love
brand
that
of the
he
Democratic
calls that
Party
shit
for the
out.
Larry Finks or the establishment puppet masters of the world. It's a little tarnished right now. Let them heal themselves. We're going to do this within the Republican Party with a much more reliable vessel, with a little bit more of a polished exterior, a little bit more committed on the pro-war agenda, and a lot more committed on the censorship and national security agenda here
I
at
was talking
home.
about Nikki so good.
I think that actually gets their job done much better without some of the inconveniences that come with Biden. So like you, I was initially of the mind that, who are they going to trot out instead of Biden? And nothing quite really, the shoe didn't really fit with any of them. Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom. And then you
I
see it's
still
just
think
staring
it's
in
gonna be
plain
one of
sight.
those
They're already
two.
halfway through doing it within the Republican primary, and then it's game over, and they get the air cover of saying they weren't even propping up Democrats. That's what's going on.
Let's jump to some stories on.
Well done, Ramaswamy. What a good answer for that question. Anyways, we'll click back over there soon. Don't you worry. But we got some more interesting stories to get into. Kinda. Oh, this one. Is my shutting down the power scenario seem to make more relevant sense coming towards the future? Yeah, I mean it's not they're getting scared and you cannot back a rat in a corner. Well, you can. It's just gonna strike out, and you need to be ready for it. And I don't know that we are. It'll be interesting to see what the rat does. I mean, the proper response is to shoot the rat once you get into the corner, but I don't know if that works for this analogy or it just turns into a something somebody would clip and pretend that I was somebody who propagated violence. And no, I only perform violence against the instruments that are over here. And against some Wagyu steak once in a while. Not gonna lie, I eat it up. Oh, I'm ridiculous drunk. Oh, female model who began identifying as male sues former agency over lack of men's fashion work. Yeah, here we are. Apparently, the male privilege is really paying off on this one. Former New York City model suing her former agency for not adequately marking her as a male model after she began identifying as a transgender male, I assume. A civil lawsuit filed in Manhattan on December 19th by Francis Coombe. Francais Coombe. That's what I'm saying it is, because that's fun. Alleges Muse's model management, the 3 M's, baby, refused to market her as a masculine model. Oh, more alliteration from State of the Union. Well done. Well done. Coombe claimed that when she began to change her appearance and gender identity beginning on October 21, Muse CEO Connor Kennedy did not accommodate her. As apparently Coombe identifying as dude. I guess a very, very effeminate soldier. He said, Vladimir Dracula. Had it under control. I have a few ideas for a pike. I love a good pike situation. That's how I used to deal with the mice in the old house. Is you shoot a couple of them and you decapitate them and put them up on a pike and leave them there for the other mice to find. Yeah, that was always a fun time. Or maybe a clothesline between the St. Louis arches. Probably not a bad idea either. Anyways, yeah, a very, very effeminate soldier. Here we go. He alleges the agency standards for male models cost her income and caused emotional distress. She's sinking $300,000 from use for lost income as well as other damages, even though it's not like they asked her to transition. And I feel like this person should have known that female models make more than male models. Like dudes don't even get paid for porn half the time. While the women's pay might be shitty, the dude's pay is next to nothing. It seems like that would have been something you would have considered, and not tried to sue a model agency because they can't find work for a gender that doesn't get work modeling other than a handful of well-connected individuals. The lawsuit claims the agency CEO did not accommodate her gender identity and discriminated against her. Or maybe it's the industry. Maybe the demand for male models isn't looking for a male model that looks like a 12-year-old boy or a very effeminate sailor. They're looking for a male model that has six-pack abs and looks like he can bench press a fucking truck. Because I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the male model standards in this fucking place are way higher than women's. And it's really, really funny to me when everybody complains that, oh, a woman has to starve herself to be on the cover of a women's popular magazine. I'm like, are you kidding me? The fucking amount of juice a dude needs to take just to be on the cover of Men's Health is a fucking unhealthy amount of drugs. And no, that's the constant. Yeah, they have to starve themselves. Like, dude, men have to gorge themselves and go on artificial fucking hormones to get there. Good Lord. Yeah, just crazy. Like, oh, I look like this and I'm not getting work as a boy. Shocker. It's a modeling job. Like, it's one of the few places where they're 100% allowed to just discriminate on you on how you look. And you're shocked that you're not doing better. Good Lord. Who would have thought? And more fun news. Mark Cuban forced to face the reality of DEI challenge to make next woke NBA hire a short woman. I'm not going to get into it, but that was hysterical. This was a great slapback tweet when he was talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, like it was going to save us all. And Elon Musk was like, oh yeah, when's the next Mavs hire going to be a short Asian woman? Well done. Even if I don't like Elon Musk most of the time, that's a solid slapback on that idiot because he's propagating bullshit. This one was wild. Migrant camps move into high schools, forces students out of their classrooms. That's right, in New York, we got online learning going on because the high school was taken over by migrants because they don't have enough housing. Because the sanctuary city that was a sanctuary city forever never planned on having to actually be a sanctuary city. They just wanted to virtue signal, and now they're fucked. When, pray tell, will President Joe Biden and his administration finally be forced to admit that their open border policy isn't just hurting red border states like Arizona and Texas, but the whole of America, including his own bread and butter big city supporters? It's from the Western Journal. The latest piece of evidence came from the most populous city in New York, which has been so besieged by immigrants who want to come there that it's actually suing the bus companies bringing them there. The hope in New York, among other emergency stopgap measures, was that a camp would be set up in a distant corner of Brooklyn known as the Floyd Bennett Field to house at least part of the flood of migrants streaming into the city. But New York weather, January, isn't amenable to camping. And that's why, according to the New York Post report Tuesday, Brooklyn High School had to go to virtual learning in order to give up its gym to nearly 2,000 migrants. So imagine this. You're living in a big Democrat, beautiful run city like New York. And you've been paying out the ass for not only your state tax, because, well, it's New York. You've been paying out the ass for your federal tax, because, well, it's the United States of America. And you've probably been paying out the ass for your city tax with a bunch of education bullshit because it's New York City. Now your kids are going to sit at home because they've got to actually use the place that was paid for by you for your kids to learn to house migrants that you thought was a great idea because you lived in the North and never thought that voting yourself a sanctuary city would actually cause you an issue. But here we are, spending a bunch of money. Schools closed to students on Wednesday. Situation seemed to make nobody happy, particularly since the warning signs were on the wall. From the announcement of the migrant camp being placed at the Floyd Bennett Field, everyone except apparently those running the camp knew it would be a disaster, Republican New York State Assembly candidate Thomas P. Sullivan said in a statement published to social media on Tuesday. Sean in the comments said, Greece is on chic today. Bring out the boys, Clinton, Branson, and the Prince. Virgin Airlines, Richard, no dick in video, the pervs everywhere. Oh, yeah? Are there a bunch of, is it a bunch of just big name people just fly to Greece for no particular reason, especially not their extradition laws? So I was looking Greece so chic today. Bring out the boys, the Prince. Yeah. No, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Here's more stupid news out of California, because that's all you get from out there usually, is they're going to pay for illegal migrants to gender transition. Yeah, that's the thing. Conservative has reacted with fury. I know, I'd like to think that anybody with common sense would react with fury, knowing that you're paying for healthcare for people who don't legally live here, and the citizens themselves don't get it. So yeah, fuck you, Mr. Taxpayer. You just pay for people who snuck in illegally. Well, you get nothing. How about that? You suck a dick and you like it. Yeah, that big old Uncle Sam. Greece is merely a historical reference. Oh, okay, sorry. What happened in Ecuador the other day was a trial run for. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. It's kind of a predictor, and part of the reason people are like, oh my god, that couldn't happen here, and then it happens there, and they're like, oh my god, I just can't believe this happened here. Yeah, no, it's been building forever. You're just too dense to get it. Anyways, conservatives react with fury and report that illegal migrants in California can be eligible for gender-affirming care from Medi-Cal, the state's version of Medicare. Beginning January 1st, all undocumented immigrants in California who meet certain criteria, such as having been a resident of the state since 2014 and having an income below a certain threshold, automatically qualified for Medi-Cal. The U.S. has recorded a substantial surge in illegal crossings. Yep. Nope, we have no control over the U.S. border, and then they want me to pay money to see the rest of it, but nope. Posting on X, Twitter, Colorado House Republican Lauren Boebert hit out the peace policy, commenting, California is now going to pay for illegals to get sex changes. There's no punchline in this tweet. California is the punchline. Well, the state guidelines say that illegal immigrants can qualify for gender affirming clear. It's unclear if any have taken up this option. Yeah, just like the opposite arguments made, right? Like when they're like, oh yeah, no, nobody would actually have to get rid of a baby at 9 months of pregnancy, but we need to make it illegal. We need to make it legal. You're like, wait, but you just said that it's not happening. No, but it's not happening. But we needed to make it legal. Okay, yeah, I'm sure there's nothing weird going on here. That's for sure. Oh, we checked out that one. Oh yeah, the The Vermont story. Oh shit, I lost that one. Yeah, Vermont's about to raise property tax by, well, it's on the docket to raise property tax by 18.3%. Sticks has a video on it if you want to see more. But yeah, he's a local Vermonter too. Shout out Sticks. Not that you'll ever see this, brother, but I love you, man. Thank you for all the good work that you do. John said Gavin Newsom and Clinton will kill a monster wife for chilling in Mexico. Yeah, I saw that. The Benny show was used in the U.S. Senate today as a reference. Oh, that's hysterical. For which side? That's really what I want to know. Because, like, they were probably being like, oh my God, look at these far right. Look at these ultra right MAGA conservatives that are ruining this country. Yeah, but Vermont lawmakers we're toying with raising property tax 18.3% just to deal with our education. Because, yeah, the town near me wants to spend $73 million on a high school, which should be great. Because I'm like, $73 million, and that judge said the Mar-a-Lago is worth 20. Dude, we're going to have 3.5 Mar-a-Lagos next to my work. I'm sure that should be great. It'll bring in a lot of tourism and shit. 3.5 Mar-a-Lagos, that's going to be lit. But, yeah, Vermont lawmakers take another shot at increasing their pay. Shocking. Shocking. This state is unlivable. I think that's what you guys are really saying, is that it's so bad. It's so bad in Vermont that even the people who, I mean, like, a politician's like the guaranteed way to make money doing a job that isn't supposed to make money, right? Like, it was the Hunter showing up in the gallery of the Senate while being charged with contempt. Absolutely unbelievable. He ran when Marjorie Taylor Greene started. Yeah, I saw that. That's that was pretty funny. Just bailed on there, showing up in the gallery of the Senate while he was being charged with contempt. Yeah, and he ran away as far as MTG started talking. I didn't actually watch it, but I read about it and laughed greatly. Because, yeah. Oh, this was the one. Yeah. Governor Scott was proposing it. Yeah, at least that neocon cares a little bit. Property taxes going up are unprecedented, said the Vermont Tax Commissioner. They're also unacceptable, says the governor. Yeah, an 18.5% rise in property taxes next year, driven by a 12% increase in education costs. Yeah, because we had a bunch of people move here who don't work here, who make their money from out of state. And now we're covering their education costs. And the state's already unlivable. It's mind-boggling how bad it's going to get here in the next few years. His argument will be, I was there the whole time. What are you talking about? How can you hold me in contempt for not showing? Yeah, no, that's exactly going to be it. I showed up. I was there. It's like, yeah, but you ran out as soon as anyone tried to ask you any question that wasn't like, okayed by your daddy. So, okay, let me unshare that so I can share it with audio. Let's see let's check in with Vivek. See what's going on over here.
This tweet from James O'Keefe. This video was pretty shocking to watch. There have been reports about buses that have been trafficking illegal immigrants. In fact, I can say this as well. I have personally confirmed the existence of major airline boarding passes that state no name given. This story was broken by Ashley St. Clair. We're still waiting on vetting and development. So by all means, anyone in the press who wants to doubt this story, you will feel free to do so. But I will put my reputation on the line and say, I have reviewed the materials. It's more than just a boarding pass saying no name given.
No name given on a boarding pass. Well, you have to sign up with your government-approved ID. That can be revoked from you if you don't have all your paperwork in line. Meanwhile, no name given. Shots of the whole fucking mass is coming apart. Yeah, dude. 2024 is going to be lit. Absolutely lit. I am glad that I will be here playing the violin as this ship sinks. And, holy shit. Yeah, no, it is. That's wild, dude.
We've had our own employees at Timcast witness on these flights, doing these events, planes full of illegal immigrants carrying these bags with instructions. They don't speak English. Someone is doing this. And it may be not just, we know the Biden administration has been facilitating much of this. We know this because back in 2021, There was a report about migrant children, illegal immigrant children, being smuggled on flights in the late hours, or the early hours of the morning, into places like Tennessee and Westchester.
Yeah, I was like forever
And
and a half ago.
we from those stories and from the expansion of them, we know that exists. We also know that yes, Greg Abbott and other governors have been sending illegal immigrants deeper into the country in various places. The question is why.
Still wondering if there's a crowd there, like that's, or it's just done in a way with like put some extra reverb on it, so it sounds like they're in front of a crowd instead of like just with a couple black backdrops hanging.
Why is this happening? Why isn't our border being secured? Why is it that when James O'Keefe in this video it's crazy. They follow a bus carrying these illegal immigrants.
Nice.
The bus tries to hit them.
Ex-Iowa
The bus tries fleeing and swerving through the road, going on and off exits, trying to lose them because journalists are following them, and then actually
Side note, Base Records logo is badass.
stops and does not release its passengers and then leaves again. Something about what they're doing has them scared someone will find out they're doing it. But I'll give you one quick story that happened to me personally. Outside of this, Ashley St. Clair showed me the materials. It's a boarding pass that says no name given. Do you want to board a major airliner?
This is mind-boggling that we would be at a point where that would be anywhere near acceptable, considering with all the bullshit we've gone through to fly since 9/11.
With people, our security, our TSA has no idea who these people are, where they come from. I was in Chicago over the holiday. We flew on a private jet. How about that? It's really fun, isn't it? And
okay, there is a crowd.
Our shuttle bus driver said the other day, a 737 came in, and we were told by our bosses that it was the Blackhawks. How fun is that? So you're gonna get to go service a plane, pull out the luggage for a famous hockey team. He said when they pulled up to the plane and opened it up, there were 3 garbage bags in the forward cargo hold. That's it. No luggage, nothing. They then found out that the entire plane, 140 passengers, were illegal immigrants.
The Western Alliance
and he said it was
good,
Swift Air.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what he told me.
I still haven't reacted
I asked
to
him,
it yet. I'm sorry.
Did they lie to you,
I keep
claiming it was the
forgetting.
Blackhawks, because you would not have served that plane had you known you'd be facilitating illegal immigration? And he went, bingo, exactly. So my question now is, with all of this news breaking, and this is a
He's going to get to his question after talk ranting for 3 minutes. This is why Tim should not host Town Hall.
massive story, I'm interested
Especially
in your
with the crew.
view on what's going on. I want to know how you plan to handle it, what you would do, and I also want to know your position on how do we handle the fact that there are federal law enforcement officers actually facilitating this?
Yeah, well, I think it's, again, one of these, when it comes to the media, third rail issues, when you name what's going on, so forget the labels, great replacement theory, whatever, just forget the labels. What's going on is, what's the most parsimonious explanation is, there is a facilitation of mass illegal migration into the United States to secure lasting electoral majorities for the Democratic Party.
Yep. And I'm glad that he said that out loud.
And the reason, that's not a conspiracy theory is it is a pre-stated strategy of Democrats dating back to about 10 years ago. And it's not a surprise when you got Mayorkas sitting by Joe Biden's side about 10 years ago, the guy who's actually running the Department of Homeland Security right now, who is in turn refusing to enforce the Remain in Mexico policies. Yes, that's exactly what's going on and hiding in plain sight. And the math makes sense. It works. So now you have AOC coming in for cover in recent days, this was yesterday or the day before, saying that actually the right solution isn't building the wall, but to document the undocumented, which is the next step to them participating in those elections. And so it's, if somebody tells you this is what I'd like to do, then they take actions consistent with
that's for sure.
achieving what they'd like to do.
That's because it's
and then
it's
consummate
mostly
it by
I suck
actually
my own
doing that
balls
very
'cause they're
thing
so big.
in changing the composition of the electorate and translating into who actually ends up voting in elections. You tend to believe that that's the most parsimonious explanation, not something else that we're otherwise struggling to figure out how to solve. Well, once we figure out how to solve that, we realize it's not a technical problem. I think, and sometimes it's what bothers me in a lot of the border discussions is people will get into some sort of, and I've done this too. I'll get into technical details. Do we need aquatic barriers in the Rio Grande? What do we think about the airlines? How should they be conforming the standards to the other people at the TSA, the thousands standing around, as I call them at the airport, or what are they doing? None of that matters.
Thousands standing around.
Actually eliminate the intention. Get the intentions in the right place. Say our intention is for people who enter this country illegally to not be in this country. Technically, it becomes actually a very easy challenge to solve.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. That's never been brought up.
Militarize the southern border. We're militarizing other people's borders. How about militarizing our own with our own military? Militarize our border as we are doing and should not be doing for others. use the aquatic barriers in the Rio Grande, stop giving money to Central America. Most of the people coming through Mexico, 80% of them didn't start in Mexico, required each of those countries to build a border barricade all the way from Venezuela to the southern border of Texas, and birthright citizenship for kids of illegals. The 14th Amendment does not apply to the kids of illegals. I can go to the legal argument on this. They duped Donald Trump on this one. They said you need a constitutional amendment. Actually, you don't.
I'm going to say, yeah, 14th Amendment doesn't apply to the children of Americans. It probably, I mean, you can just call them whatever you want. You probably shouldn't have it applied to the children of non-citizens.
Stop federal funding for sanctuary cities. We're paying for this. Our federal taxpayer money is actually paying for this facilitation of the domestic transfer to sanctuary cities. And then anybody in this country should be returned to their country of origin if you're here illegally. It's that simple. Now, they say there's only 6,000 ICE agents, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents. Well, again, if you read the law, there's a section in the law, I think it's 287G or something like this.
Oh, no, of course not.
That allows ICE agents to serve their warrants via local law enforcement. You just need, again, somebody running
both rails.
Ideally, the entire executive branch, a president who tells the Department of Homeland Security and ICE to use that authority to work with local law enforcement. Now you got 1 million people, not just 6,000, to get the job done. So I gave you all of this as though the technical challenge was really the challenge. It's not. It's a challenge of intention.
Right
now, there's been a longstanding intention to fundamentally change the composition of the U.S. electorate. If you call that a great replacement theory, CNN will have a conniption. If you say that, you know what, this is part of an electoral strategy, they would ask you what's so wrong with that. But either way, we got to at least air what it actually is to be able to have a debate whether this is desirable policy or not.
But if you say if you like it and if you support people coming in and replacing the local population, you of course get promoted by the corporate media.
Yeah.
There's crazy stats out there talking about how there's more illegals brought into the United States than actual babies born.
Okay, we should get back to my show, not theirs. But yeah, I had a couple. One more. Oh, yeah, we had to get into Pitch Fest. Before that, okay, we got into that one. This one is super comforting. This is exactly what you want to hear, that the firefighters you're learning. Firefighters are taught biological sex is just a label and may run along the spectrum. Firefighters have been taught that sex is just a label and may run along the spectrum. Training material for emergency service staff at West Sussex Fire Rescue seen by Telegraph shows that they have received instruction in transgender and non-binary inclusion. Bite-sized guide for the staff of the fire service makes a series of claims, including a section, "What is the gender binary?" in which firefighters have been informed on. In white Western cultures, gender is seen as being an either choice, also known as binary. The training material relates to best practice for inclusion and informs everyone, emergency service staff, that gender is a set of behaviors while sex is the label word assigned by a doctor at birth, even though they just said that biological sex is just a label. Label does not cover the range of innate gender identities a person might have, the material claims, and the biological sex may also be run along the spectrum, which is very contrary to the previous definition of the two things. But here we are. Here in my eyes, Trump 2.0, why not have Master Donald working in the back room with you? Oh no, I agree. I'm not saying that I don't think Trump is going to not win. I just think there's a lot of possibilities, and it's going to be a very hot year. You know what I mean? Like, there might be some serious no-tie streams coming up shortly, because things are going to start getting spicy quick this year. It states, in truth, our understanding of the amount of difference between bodies is only just emerging. Current research indicates there's probably more of a physical spectrum of biological sex rather than simple binary of male or female. Because that's what somebody should give a shit about when they're trying to save your life, is not, hey, does this person have testes or ovaries? It should be based on things we know that work for either sex. Yeah, no, it should be, they should just definitely think about how you feel about your parts. Please listen to Wicked Ways by Ren. I believe you could become a renegade. If you're looking for view count, the renegades will be for you there, I promise. Okay, I'll check it out, man. The renegades. That's the last story I got to get into. So, Is King Arthur Flower the next Citizen Cider? This was I don't know quite how to phrase this because Citizen Cider, so recently I got called out. Citizen Cider is like a super pro LGBTQ brand, or was pretending to be. And they got outed because one of their owners is, or a person very high up in the company is very clearly bigoted towards those in the community. And said some shit, and they launched a new brand, and the shirts I don't care about. Like the shirts, I still have to work on that. They got smacked around in the media for some of the shirts they had, which were pretty soft as far as the Drunk on Enrollment is concerned. It was like keep it trimmed and a picture of a guy on a lawnmower, or like plow it good or something. It was a picture of a guy plowing a field, but they were all like, oh, these are sexual references, and keep it trimmed refers to women's pubic hair, because why wouldn't it? And they got shit on. They got pulled out of a bunch of places. And don't get me wrong, fuck them. Like, if you're gonna be owners and pretend to have a woke company and not be woke, like, I don't give a shit if you fail, because that was your fault. Fuck you people for trying to pretend and grift. But here we go. Baking Pitch Fest. Project Potluck versus King Arthur. Established in 1790. It's a Vermont company, King Arthur Flour. Based in Norwich, Vermont. Half mentorship, half competition. This is from the actual website. I didn't even pull up an article. I just pulled up their website to be like, hey, check this out. An accelerator, Baking Pitch Fest is an accelerator program designed to foster greater inclusivity and creativity in the baking world by providing equitable opportunities for people of color, asterisks, entrepreneurs. Winners receive financial support, brand exposure, and the mentorship to help accelerate their business. Product edition, Baking Pitch Fest Product Edition focuses on baking brands owned by people of color across the United States. Finalists will travel to Vermont for a 2-day event to pitch their product idea in the hopes to win a purchase order in the King Arthur product portfolio. Bakery Edition focuses on people of color owned bakeries in the Northeast and Washington State looking to reach the next level. People of color is defined as Asian or Pacific Islander, Black or African American, Hispanic or Latinx, Indigenous or Native American, Middle Eastern or North African. Excuse me, I got the hiccups real bad all of a sudden. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like Christmas, baby. It'll take a second.
Now there's a lot of bullshit going on this time of year. Sitting out here, looking at all these fucking commercials and ads. All these companies, I don't give a shit. Just trying to make a quick buck. But I figured I'd take time to say something I wouldn't normally say. Well, I've been thinking about Christmas, baby. Thought it was bullshit, but I've changed me, babe. I just wanna say, here on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas to you and Santa, babe.
Okay. We're back. Sorry about that. So yeah, King Arthur Flour is having a non-whites only baking competition. You want to come pitch your product 2024 and you're a POC by these narrowly defined lines that disinclude a bunch of people who may be referred to as POC. Apparently, this is the definitive list. We now have it. People of color is Asian or Pacific Islander, Black or African American, Hispanic or Latinx, Indigenous or Native American, Middle Eastern or North African. Yes, because, let's not include the Slavs or the Jews or anybody else. Yeah, let's just make it, we're just going to make it a non-whites baking competition. And, people are going to be really thrilled by that. And we'll see what happens. Will some boycotts ensue? I know that Styx called for one. I personally won't be buying King Arthur Flour now. And I know a lot of my friends will have an issue with this and be like, but they're just trying to promote the community Holy lung orgasm, you okay? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm much better now. A lot of people will be upset by this. And a lot of people, it's very weird when I pulled my friends. Well, not my friends, my coworkers. Because it's a very diverse cast. And I'm like the Alex Jones at work, just to be clear. It's just to put you in a mental perspective of what I'm dealing with on a regular day. I'm the crazy right-wing conspiracist at my workplace. So just to put that in very clear perspective. Like I used to be like the Joe Rogan, like the guy who was just like, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, that changed in the past since Trump got elected. That's for sure. Now I'm like the far right conspiracy theorist guy. I am the Alex Jones at work. And a lot of people often say, no way. And then say 3 months later, you know, you were kind of actually right about that. But yeah, King Arthur just saying, hey, fuck the white people. And don't get me wrong, like that's in their wheelhouse. But, you know, they also came up from a state that's like 97% white. So it's fun to see them shit on an entire group. But no, I just won't. I'm not gonna support a company that's into any type of racism because I don't know. Call me an outsider. Call me based. Call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. But to be straight, I'm not really gonna be willing to support any company that outright supports racism. And this is clearly it. It's just racism towards white people, which is not reverse racism. It's just racism. It's the same fucking shit. And you people should get over it. I can totally see it. Hillary in the front office, AOC in the bakery, and Bill Clinton in the box boy. That'd be an adorable little bakery set. Anyways, that's all I got on this one. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll spend a minute over in the after show. Why not? No, I'm not really. I'm actually just going to call this one after the main show. I will play the long credits, though. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I am, of course, Hickory the Drunk on Roaming, and that has been TDAU Live, Episode 8, Stolen Driveways, Secret Tunnels, and King Arthur Flower, the next Citizen Cider. I don't know. We'll find out. That's for sure. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, Drunk Magician out. Cheers.
Above all else, I just want to say thank you. Have a beautiful night. Drunk Magician out. Cheers. Now let's get the credits. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate the help. Cause this is a show I do by myself. I produce the shit myself. And I've been through a lot with friends and a lot of shit I felt. But